Week 5, day 5. We're going to finish lesson 16, and we have only 2 pages, and there's actually just only 2 problems today. So again, just wanted to check in with you guys. Make sure that you're in a nice quiet spot. You're following along closely in the videos. There's no distractions. You don't have your own cell phone or TV or video game or anything that you have, that could be a distraction. Pretend like you are in class with me. And you can always rewind and pause me if I'm going too fast or you made a mistake. Normally, guys, there'd be an assignment. You would be doing things on your own. But if you're looking at these, day 3 and day 4, we've pretty much done them together because these are quite difficult word problems. So far, you're going to see there's none of these that you're going to have to really, quote unquote, get corrected because they should be done and accurate. So we'll continue on today. Lesson 16, page 8, up at the top. And we're still going to work on our rounding. So rounding, if you remember, we're doing this to figure out how to easily get an answer. Rounding is a shortcut, so there's that word about. Quarterback Brett Favre passed for 71,838 yards between the years 1991 and 2011. His all-time high was 4,413 passing yards in 1 year. In his second highest year, he threw 4,212 passing yards. There's that word, about how many passing yards did he throw in the remaining years? That's going to be quite a bit, guys, because we only have 2 years. We have 1 year and second highest year. So we have his 2 highest years. Now we need to estimate by rounding each value to the nearest 1,000. So they're telling us to go to a certain place value and then compute. So we're going to go ahead and figure out our tape diagram. We're going to round the numbers and fill them in. But again, if you need to off to the side, round them. If you can't do them mentally yet, do them off to the side like we did originally in the first couple of videos and in class. So Brett Favre passed for 838 yards. There's my thousands place. The 8 is going to tell that 1 to go up to a 2. So he threw for about 72,000 yards. And now, my tape diagram. I have 3 parts. I have his highest year, and then his second highest year, which, by the way, we're going to round them, boys and girls, we're going to round them down. That would be round down to 4,000. Now look how tiny these boxes are. That's 1 year. And then another 4,000. And then this is my unknown. I'm going to do a variable x. Notice how I did a cursive x and not a just normal x. We don't want it to look like a multiplication sign. So there's his 2 years. First highest, rounded. We rounded that to 4,000, and then we rounded this also to 4,000. So this is going to be some easy mental math for us. It's being 8,000. That's why we're rounding. It's a nice, easy shortcut. And now in our head, we need to, 72 minus 8, we'd subtract those. Now, if you can't see what that answer is, and you need to figure it out, go ahead and figure that out and write it down. And tell me what you get. You can pause it if you need to. All right. We have 7 regrouped into the 12. 8 and 4 is 6. So he passed for about 64,000 yards. Ew, that's a lot of yards for Mr. Favre. Okay, so now let's do, yep, you all see it, the exact. So again, same exact tape diagram. The only difference, we are doing the actual number, or the exact. So we're putting 71,838, and then we put 4,413, and then 4,212. And then again, I'm going to still keep x as my variable. This is still 2 steps though, guys. If you haven't noticed, this is 2 steps. You got to figure out this first variable here. So this, if you wanted to, we didn't enable that one because it was such a mental math. But this, maybe you can make that y. So we got to figure out y first. Add those 2 together. And then we're going to take it away from our top number. So let's go ahead and figure this out. Remember, add these first and then subtract. Don't subtract twice. Subtracting is not as easy. It's a lot easier to add and then subtract once. You won't want to subtract twice. So let's add these together. 4,413, 4,212. Now those numbers look really silly together. They didn't feel right. I'm gonna make sure I got them right. 4413, 4212. They're right. There's a 5, there's a 2, there's a 6, and there's an 8. So that gave me a total of 8,625 yards in his 2 highest years. And now I have to figure out the remaining years, which was quite a bit of years. Yeah, that would have been another, let's see, 2011 to 2009. That was, let's do the math there. 2011 minus 9, that'd be 20 years. So that's 20 years of passing. We only were given his top 2. 20 years of passing, obviously that's why it's a lot, 64,000. These are just 2 of his best years. 71,838 minus 8,625. Make sure I copied right. 71838 8625. Ooh, this is very rare, but there's very little regrouping in this one. Got to regroup in my thousands place. Give 10. Take away 1. 8 plus 3 is my 11. 63. Okay. So now let's go on to the last part there, which says assess reasonableness. So if we have 64,000 and it's 63,000, okay, we're about 800 away. So I'm going to say fairly reasonable. So we are close to probably about little less than 800 away. So we're 7 to 800 away. Now we're not spot on. And I'm going to ask you the question, what place value would we have rounded to get closer to our estimate? Go ahead and say it to yourself. Good. Hundreds place would have been a lot closer. Our answer would have been a lot closer. We wouldn't have been as far away as we currently are. And that happened. Here's why that happened, right? 71, we rounded up, and these ones we rounded down, those 2 numbers. So we lost 400 yards, we lost 200 yards, and we lost 800 yards. Oh, 200 yards here, okay? All right. Let's turn over to the last one. Zachary's final project for a college course took a semester to write and had 95,234 words. Zachary wrote 35,295 words the first month and 19,240 words the second month. How many words did he write during the remaining part of the semester? Round each value to the nearest 10,000. So again, they're telling us to go to a certain place value to estimate how many words Zachary wrote during the remaining part of the semester. This will be a really easy one up top, guys, because they're having us go to the nearest 10,000. So I want you to make a prediction right now. Remember what we said with our chart that we took notes in class. The further up you go in place value, the easier it is to add or subtract, but the less reasonable it becomes from our real answer. Okay? So let's go ahead. We have Zachary has 95,234 words. That's how big his writing is. So 95,000. We're going to the nearest 10,000s place. There's my 10,000. The 5 tells the 9 to go up to a 10. Yes, boys and girls, it's 100,000. So he has 100,000. He wrote 35,000 in the first month. So there's my 3 in the 10,000s place. 5 tells the 3 to go up, so that was 40. And 19,240. So let's round that to basically 20. All right. So if you're looking at, we have 100, 40, 20. Should be able to fill in our blank pretty easily. Man, I love rounding to 10,000s and 100,000s. Do that mental math. 4, 2, 6, so 60,000. So then you have 60. Subtract it from 100. Gives me 40. So there's my answer. 40,000 words. And that's in the remaining part of the semester. And that should equal up to his 100. 40, 40 is 80. 80 plus 20, 100. Okay, last one here of the week, guys. Find our exact. Oof. He has 95,234 total words. 95234. The first month, he had 35295. 35,295. Again, just checking myself. It's like surgery, making sure that, I'm performing the right thing. 19,240. Now we want to add these two together. Remember, add them first, then subtract them from the total. So this is what we've been working on the last 2, 3, 4 days. I mean, we did it in class. We showed you how to figure it out. They do get harder, because what we're going to do is we're going to have comparison next week. So we're going to say maybe this one had certain less than this one, so you got to do that step before we can go ahead. So they get even harder from this one. So we got to make sure that we understand when you see this, we know to smudge these two together, add them up, and then take them away from our total. So this is something, if you just see this tape diagram, there should be a tattoo on your wrist, your arm here. This should be easily done. We know what to do. We know to add these two together and then take it from that total. Okay, every single one. If you want to look back, look at every single page that we've done has something very similar to this one. So let's add 35,295 plus 19,240. 5 and 0 is 5. 9 and 4 is 13. 2 and 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. 9 and 5 is 14. Drop 1, add a 1. 3, 4, 5. So that gave me 54,535. And our last step, 95,234 words. It's a lot of words. Hopefully you didn't count them one by one. Need the computer tell them maybe. A couple spots we're going to have to regroup. We're going to regroup quite a bit here actually. Give 10. Take away 1. Now I got to regroup my 10s again. Give 10. Take away 1. Give 10. Take away 1. I don't need to go all the way over here because I'm good. I can do 4 minus 4. 9 and 5 is 14. 9 and 3 is 12. 6 and 5 is an 11. 0. And then 4. All right. Nearest 10,000s place. Not too bad. Not too bad, boys and girls. We're not too far away from our actual, okay? Now, I would say, obviously, if we were to go to the nearest thousands, our answer would be more reasonable. But it's definitely not like locked down, like, man, we nailed that. I'm still going to say the word fairly reasonable. And we are off by 699. And that's not bad. If we're rounding the nearest 10,000s place, guys, we're not even 1,000 away from the actual. So that's not too bad. Fairly reasonable. More towards almost the reasonable end, especially since we went to such a high place value of 10,000s. The closer we would have been our thousands place. Well, look at that, guys. 15 minutes just went off right there. Good job. Good work on this week. I know we're throwing a lot at you. I know this is new information, but I'm very pleased with the way that we're working with our math. Again, nothing that you're doing independently, so you should all come in with these done, figuring out what's going on. Don't just copy me, though. Understand what I'm doing. Pause the tape. Rewind it. 15 minutes, guys. I know you had to pause and maybe do a little bit of exercise, a little bit of math practice on your own. But make sure when you come in that day one, you kind of understand tape diagrams a little bit more because week 6 is, again, attached to this packet. Week 6, we get into some real nitty-gritty. And this is where I said we got a lot of things going on for this one. So, again, great job week 5, and I'll see you guys start week 6.